7:30 Central Time on NBC. Captain Nice, champion of justice.
It's some nut in his underwear.
Word Balloon is brought to you by the League of Word Balloon Listeners.
What I do today is what I've always wanted to do since I was a child. But what I didn't want to do was things that would be less stimulating, things that seemed more average or like, oh, I don't want to have to draw commercial content. Well, that's a great way to toughen yourself up, to get better as a draftsman so that you've prepared yourself to be usable for the artistic marketplace that exists, and then maybe you can work yourself into a position where you can do the stuff that you specifically have a passion for.
If you're here at Word Balloon, it's because you like comics, creators, conversation, pop culture subjects. Would you consider joining the League of Word Balloon Listeners? Patreon.com/wordballoon. For just $3 a month or more, you'll get exclusive access to the Word Balloon e-magazine, featuring transcriptions of some of my best conversations. When you subscribe, you'll also be part of the Word Balloon Book Club, where Brian Michael Bendis and I will pick a comic every month to review and discuss live with the League on this show. Join the League today, patreon.com/wordballoon. Thank you always for your support, League of Word Balloon listeners. Good evening, everybody. Time again for Word Balloon, the comic book conversation show. John Suntress here. There's Kyle Starks. Good to see you, man. How you been?
I'm doing good. I'm glad to be back in the Word Balloon, floating around talking about comics.
There's always room for you in the Word Balloon, my man. Excellent. So
that's sweet.
I'm excited for your new series coming up in November. Am I right? Here it is. Wrestle Heist.
Should be December. I just got a text from a retailer that said maybe not, but it's supposed to be December.
Okay. Because when's final order cutoff, Kyle?
The 10/27.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's good that we're talking now, man.
Yeah.
So
very soon. But we as long as we sell out issues when it comes out in December, that'll be great too.
Oh no, I'm with you, man. But yeah, we want to give people a chance to take the jump and order it from your local store. So all right, give us the 10-cent elevator pitch. You were kind enough to send me the first 3 issues, and it's very funny as always. But tell me about Wrestle.
Yeah, this is a tough one to explain. It's called Wrestle Heist. It's about wrestlers doing a heist. I like it. I like it when they just say what they are. The longer version is this guy we see on the cover, Sterling Steele, who sort of is, despite being maybe the best wrestler in the world, has never been given the belt because of a crooked promoter. And when he decides to leave the promotion, the crooked promoter attempts to kill him. I don't know, injure him, and makes it so he can't wrestle anywhere. He's so hurt. So what does he do? He decides he's got to rob this world's version of WrestleMania, basically. They got to hit him where it hurts. So he's going to gather up a group of similarly wronged wrestlers with different skill sets, and they're going to do a heist. It's going to be great. It's real fun, I think. It's going to be 5 issues. It starts in December. Maybe November, but that's wrong. I don't know why Lunar says that. I'm just getting texts like right now, so I guess it just went up. I don't know what's going on. I can't imagine. I just sent files in today, so I can't imagine they can print it and get it out in 3 weeks. But I could be wrong. We'll find out.
Again, the important thing is if people are watching and listening before Monday, the 27th, you want to get your LCS and order this. And hey, man, it's and I mean this in the best way. It's typical Kyle Starks humor, which is always great. And also, I'm not a big current wrestling watcher.
Yeah.
It hasn't. I mean, and actually, I'm more interested in like those documentaries that A&E made last year or a couple of years ago. And in fact, if people haven't seen them, they're on Tubi currently, and they're great. And I think I don't know, maybe I'm aging out because I was a fan back in the day. And especially my college years was when Vince and the WWEF really kind of up their game. And my God, it was on every month instead of Saturday Night Live. It was Saturday Night Wrestling and stuff, you know, and
Saturday Main Event.
The era of Flair and Hogan and all the, and, you know, Flair in the NWA, but you know, both of them.
He's talking, he's singing my song. I think wrestling is like even comics, right? It's evolved. It's different. I've been talking a lot lately about how I think the entry. This is I'm going to not pull my string, but for example, in regards to what you're saying specifically about old wrestling versus new wrestling, is that I go, I think the entry point, like if you go, I really like Invincible, I'm going to go to the shop, I'm going to ask them what the best comic of all time is, and you go and I was like, I want to get the 3 best comics of all time. They will likely tell you it's Watchmen, Dark Knight Returns, and maybe something else, All-Star Superman, and those are all what I would call advanced reading. They're not like starter books. But at the same time, if someone said, I love Invincible and I want to start reading comics, I want to read more Fantastic Four, I think if you gave someone Lee and Kirby, they would be like, this is weird. And so I think comics are a lot. I think wrestling and comics have that in common is that they've evolved. I think if you love it, it's great. If you don't, then, you know, you don't. But wrestling has definitely changed over the years, but also it's still exactly the same, just like comics have. It's just there's maybe more pomp and circumstance, or sometimes less pomp and circumstance. And wrestling is wrestling. It's out there. We like it. Sometimes we like it. Sometimes we don't like it. But I think, and I say this sincerely, this is because I did a book called Old Head, as you know, which had basketball involved. I was like, I don't think you have to like basketball to like this book. In fact, I hope you don't like basketball and still like this book. And I feel like Wrestle Heist is the same way. I hope people don't go, well, I don't really watch wrestling. It's like, well, I don't know. Do you like having fun? Doesn't it sound like a fun idea? Doesn't it sound like a fun idea? It's just a big, dumb, strong guys who fake fight for a living deciding to do a heist. Why would they do that? How are they going to pull that off? Who are these wacky characters? But parallel to that, I think if you know anything at all about wrestling, I think you will probably enjoy it slightly more than those people, because there's a lot of sort of tongue-in-cheek references, and you know, I love tropes and I love archetypes, and wrestling has a bunch of them. And sort of playing with those tropes and archetypes is a lot of fun for me. It's always a lot of fun for me. So I think if you know anything about wrestling, you'll be like, oh, I see. I kind of see who maybe this is supposed to be, even though it's not. It's just supposed to evoke the feeling of like an Ultimate Warrior or someone who speaks insane all the time.
Well, even your main character, Sterling Steele, you know, has a $1 Million Man quality to him.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. I think he's Shawn Michaels doing the $1 Million Man gimmick. That's my my brain canon.
Well, I got to tell you, because seeing your protagonist, it reminded me obviously of the $1 Million Man, and I got to tell you, my not the $1 Million Man, but this guy, my legitimate sworn enemy at comic conventions, and that's Virgil. Everybody, Virgil. From the WWF days. Can I tell you my Virgil story? So this is at C2E2 one year, and they were very kind, especially in the early years, giving a lot of podcasters free tables, which was really nice. And it certainly helped promote the brand. And this is like the second or third year they had done it. And so, you know, and okay, great, your table is, you know, row 22A or whatever the hell it was. So immediately, social media, hey, if you're a Word Balloon fan, come by. I was selling T-shirts at the time.
Yeah, awesome.
Come by. You know, I'm at 22A, my table and stuff. So, and it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I believe. Second day, I come a little late. And Virgil is at my table with his BS belts, because he never won a belt. I don't even think they won a tag team belt together.
He won the $1 Million belt, John.
Maybe, but
he did.
I'm like, excuse me. What are you doing at my table? He said, oh, don't worry, man. There's plenty of other tables and everything's fine. I'm like, no, everything isn't fine. Pick up your shit and get the F out of here right now.
Listen
like,
to the balls in this thing.
I'm like, no, you're a jerk, man. I go, I'm sure you got another table and you just decided my row and my position was better than yours. I said, who the hell do you think you are, Virgil? You sidekick, you wrestling sidekick, jerk off. And honestly, man, and it was all these people saw, and I am shouting and pointing, and you know, you've seen me, man. I'm 5'9", fat ass, and I'm like, hey, get the hell out of here. He's like, all right, take it easy. So ever since then, people who were in
your nemesis.
My sworn, I feel bad. He did pass away.
Yeah, he passed away, so we can talk shit about him. I believe, I believe one of the listeners are probably, but I believe he sort of famously would table up at empty tables at conventions. I think that was something that he did. So he may not have had another he may not have had another table.
Maybe not. That's a fair point. But also, I mean, you and I say this as a convention warrior yourself. You know how it is, man.
Oh, I would lose my mind. I don't remember names, and names aren't necessary. But there was that guy, maybe 5 or 6, the zombie artist who was taking people's tables and being
well known, my man. For purposes of no litigation, we
Yeah,
won't say his name, but that's all you need to say. The
But I'll tell you,
guy.
the zombie guy. If I now remember his name, but it's below me. I don't care. But if I showed up and it wasn't a misunderstanding, you know, if someone's like, "Oh no, I'm taking 2 tables," I'd be like, "You're absolutely not." But you know, some of us are built different, John. Some of us aren't taking any bullcrap, even from probably like a 6'4", 220-pound linebacker. I think he famously would just take it. I think he famously would just take empty tables. I believe I heard that before.
About the zombie guy,
listen,
no question. 100% he did. Well, you know who else did, sadly, and it's an all-time great? Neil Adams used to do that stuff all the time.
Evan Dorkin said he started his first convention was he just saw an empty table and decided to sit at it. So listen, you know, we can't completely dismiss the idea of just taking an empty table. And some shows, if it's day 2, you should take that empty table, I think. Like, give it a shot.
Yeah, but also in the case of Neil, he would they'd obviously have him set up with a table, but he would take like 6 or 7 because, you know, he'd come with all the posters and everything else that he had. And it's like, no, Neil, you don't understand. Other people have these tables that you've just...
I paid for them. Unlike him, they paid for them. Yeah. I'd lose my mind.
Yep.
I lose my mind, and then they would move me to the farthest corner. They'd move me as far away as possible, so
that's right, man. Yeah, all right. Don't worry, John. We got you a table near the bathroom. Everything's fine. Yeah, man. That's good. with the appropriate smells. So yeah.
I don't want to throw any conventions under the table, but does any convention besides TrophyCon absolutely have podcast tables anymore?
Oh no, and you know, honestly, Mitch is great. He does not give me a table, but also I'm like, I don't have anything to sell right now.
No, but they have podcast. They have a row of podcasters there.
Yeah, well, that's fair. You know, you're right. Shame on me because even my buddies at Splash Pages and stuff. No, and in fact, they even have their own area where they'll have a stage and they'll bring people, which is smart because I always felt bad about taking a creator from the dealer area, and it's like, hey man, you're there to make money. You know,
it's true. But this is theoretically making money also.
Well, I stopped doing floor interviews. Yeah. Because everybody was doing them, and also I would rather get you for an hour rather than on the floor. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah, so. The floor is rough because a show can put you in a mood, and it can be a good mood, but not often. Normally, you're just exhausted and you're mad you haven't made enough money, and it's hard to be enthusiastic. And we want to be enthusiastic.
Mr. Enthusiasm, Rob Liefeld, who I like. And I was there that one year at Wizard Chicago when that jerk with his friend with a phone camera was videotaping this guy giving Liefeld the How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way book and going, hey, I think you need this more than I do. And it's like, oh, F you, man. I'm like, listen, you don't have to like Rob's art, but the body of work, it's like, it's Rob Liefeld. Leave him alone.
Yeah.
And I was just like, hey, man, Rob, good. And I didn't know at the time. And I'm like, how you doing, man? And he's like, oh, John, he goes, you just caught me at a really bad time, man. I'm really sorry. I just can't talk to anybody. I'm like, all right, I hope everything's okay. Then I saw on Twitter, this jerk post the video. The great thing was, Kyle, it absolutely boomeranged against the guy. And everyone's like, hey, F you. Who the hell do you think you are? Can you draw at all? And you're picking on Ryan Blofeld? F you, man. So
even if he has drawn everything, like even if you don't think it's that good, like he's getting opportunities no one else is getting. A divisive character for sure. I like Liefeld's work. I like where he exists in history. I don't care how he draws feet. I don't like drawing him either. What a pain in the butt. Mike Mignola doesn't draw him, but we don't say anything about him. What's up? What's up with that? And he's brilliant. He's brilliant. That's it, man. Poor Rob. I don't want to talk about, but talk about a guy who really tries hard and really gets picked on a lot. You know what I mean? Like you go, why is he so mad sometimes? It's like, well, he does get picked on more than anyone else. probably in the industry. That's not female. Let's be honest. But like,
well, I mean, yeah, we mean men. Yeah, we mean men.
Yeah. Like he's getting picked on, and I know like one of the grading companies was very mad at him because he didn't like how they were doing business. He's like, I'm not going to work with you anymore. And so they tried to do like cheat, like workarounds where they could still, and he caught them. Like he caught them at his table. They would stand like 30 feet away to witness him signing something, and he'd be like, no. And I don't know. I kind of like that. Like if you don't like how someone's doing business, you don't have to do business with them. Good for him.
Absolutely.
Except to be Rob Liefeld.
His podcast is cracking me up too.
I haven't heard. I didn't know he had one. I don't know.
Oh yeah, and it's just him extemporizing, and it's great because he's a pack rat, and he has
amazing
Heroes Issues and Comics Interview and all these great magazines from when he was a kid.
Yeah,
and we'll go into detail about, hey, did you ever hear about when John Byrne was in a feud with X? Well, here's the story. Here's the details.
No, I do want to hear about that though.
They're fun. Yeah, they're fun, man. So
I might check it out. He's a character.
He's a character. We just did a nice commercial for you. We just did a nice ad for your your
$10 each.
Your podcast.
$10 each.
Well, back to Kyle Stark's fantastic book.
He's pretty good.
How many issues for Wrestle Heights?
For Wrestle Heights, it's going to be 5 issues. It starts in December, supposedly. December 17th is the information I have. I'm hearing different today. I hope that's not true because, listen, when it comes out earlier, that's great. We love that. But they told me December. It says December on the website, so I don't know what's going on. Yeah, it's going to be 5 issues. And I am a trade waiter. I don't like reading floppies. I don't care for it. I think it's not the best way to read something. That being said, they decide how well anyone does in this industry or how well a series does. So I'm trying to make it worth people's time to pick up the issues. I'm doing a ton of back matter that is sort of issue specific. The first issue has 8 pages of back matter. It includes 2 pages of, I think 20 peers of comic fans who are comic creators who are wrestling fans and wrestling adjacent comic fans like Jason Ayers, who's a referee for WWE. And I'm going to do a survey question each issue. The first one is who's your Mount Rushmore of wrestling. The second one is top 5 tag teams. I can't remember. So I asked each issue has that. I'm also doing a lot of sort of vintage magazine, like fake ads and top 10s and rankings and all these fun little things. And they're changing each issue. So the ad about, how to grow 2 inches taller is going to be, oh yeah, here we go. Look, there's Brian Azzarello, Chris Condon, Alex Anthony. Oh, so many big names. And if you were like, hey, why did you? And if you're going, hey, I'm a wrestling fan and I like comics, why didn't you get so and so? Oh, I asked them. I reached out to them, and they just didn't reply, and I can't help that. And you can shame them for that. You have my permission. They deserve to be shamed.
I see Box Brown among these people, and of course he did an amazing Andre the Giant graphic novel. Recently. What did he do recently?
He did the one about the Man on the Moon. I can't believe I'm blanking on that comedian's
Neil Armstrong?
name. No, the comedian.
From, Andy Kaufman, of course.
Andy Kaufman. Yeah, he did that book by Andy Kaufman, which was great too. So he's in 2 wrestling books. He likes wrestling. Everyone on there. I have no one who doesn't like wrestling, because sometimes you just want to get your cool friend name on there, but it's all people who like wrestling, and that's really exciting. And I think that's fun. So you can see what your favorite creators who aren't Kyle Starks feel about certain wrestling topics, which is fun. We did all these fake little ads. We do these fake top 5s. I'm doing pinups, little cool pinups. I'm having way too much fun with it. I'm doing each of the ads is going to sort of escalate. Like there's one about a company that sells wrestling rings, and they ordered too many of them, and they're trying to sell them. So issue 2, they're like, we really need to move these. It's a discount. It's going to get worse and worse and worse for all these little bits. So I'm trying to make the monthly pickup worth it. With all this back matter, because someone asked me they're like, is it going to be in the trade? And I'm like, I don't know how I would do it, because it's 8 pages of back matter, and the next 8 pages is ostensibly a month or a year later. There's a big time jump. So it doesn't work. And also you don't want to read your 20-page comic and then read 8 pages and then, you know what I mean? So it's like, I can't line them all up in the back.
You can't?
So I might do the top 5 ranking, or I'll figure something out. But here's the thing. I'd say odds are very high that all the fun back matter I'm making is going to only be in the floppies. Yeah,
I respect that, Kyle. No, that's what Brubaker used to do, man. All the back matter was only in the criminal floppies. Yeah, man.
I'm torn on it, John, because I think that's the way to do it. I think that's the value of you. I think floppies are a challenging way to consume a media, and there should be some sort of additive value. One, and two, there should be an impetus to buy it. When I think a trade reading is a superior way to read a story, especially one of my stories, which I feel are very linear. They're not like episodic, right? It's linear, so it's kind of better to read them all in one thing. So you go, well, they're only in the floppies, and I think that's the additive value, and that's the impetus to read floppies. But that being said, they put all of the back matter from my 6 sidekicks run, which I was very proud of, into the book, and I was like, well, I kind of like it there too. So I'm torn on. I think it depends on the book and the back matter. I think because this is like, it's kind of fun little nothings, but it is world building, unnecessary world building. It's just a fun extra, and I think that should be the impetus to buying that book. We're doing variant covers for the first 2 issues.
Who's doing it?
We're doing Jesse Lonergan's doing one for number 1. It's great. It's really good. If you go to my social media, it's on there. I just posted a bunch of covers. I'm doing a sketch cover because I love sketch covers. They always are nice for me. Yeah, and I think for a wrestling one, like a wrestling sketch cover, to get name your favorite artist to draw a wrestler you like, I think is very cool. And this is maybe why they had me listed in November, even though it's wrong, is that I'm doing one of these Youngblood covers, which was supposed to be November.
Oh, speaking of Rob.
Like, yeah. Speaking of Rob, and I said, well, I'm coming out in December because I got the November email because I was supposed to be at November at one point. I was like, I'm in December. Can I still do it? And they're like, yeah, if you can make it make sense. So I just put belated Youngblood issue on it. And apparently that's all you got to do to make it sense. But I had to do it, John. And I'll tell you why I had to do this Youngblood variant. I had to do it. This is my 2nd Image series, my 4th Image book. I think that's right. I'm pretty sure that's right. It's my 2nd series. And the last series I did was 2017. It was Rock Candy Mountain, Eisner nominated. We don't need to mention that. We don't need to talk about that.
Another great
and
one.
I got and they were doing a Youngblood variant then too. So I did Bad Rock Candy Mountain, which is my first variant cover ever for one of my series. And so when they're like, oh, we're doing a Youngblood variant, I was like, I have to do it. And I did a Dwayne The Rock Johnson joke. It's Bad Rock. Can you smell what the Bad Rock's cooking? And I was like, I couldn't pass on it. So there's a cool Youngblood cover. The Jesse Lonergan cover is unbelievably good. Like, he's so good, and the cover is so. I love that guy. He's so good. And for issue 2, we're doing a Jay Gonzo cover. He's a very good artist. He's been doing a lot of variants who I like a lot. And I'm only doing variants for the 2 because I don't. What's the point of having a variant for 3, 4, 5? Who cares? That's my policy today. Will it change next series? Maybe, but I'm not in the variant business. I'm in the storytelling business, and we're doing the best we can.
How have you done any crowdfunding at all, Kyle, for your stuff?
I just did a Kickstarter. So my first book was a Kickstarter book. It was called my very first book, which was a wrestling comic, which was 2015. So I've gone 10 years without making a wrestling comic, and that's a real achievement for me. Called Legend of Ricky Thunder. That was the first book I ever made, the first comic I ever made. We did really well. I used that Kickstarter. That was when I was 2015, so I was 33. Like, my first comic was when I was 33, basically. All right. And people said you should go to. I put it online. I didn't promote it. I never promoted it, and people found it. They just found it, and it was good, I guess, because people liked it. And they're like, you should go to conventions. I said, why? They said, that's what people do. I said, okay. So I did a Kickstarter for Legend of Ricky Thunder, which was a 180-page graphic novel, but it's a weird format. And I used the money to go to conventions because that's what people said they should do. And one of those conventions was Heroes Con, and it's my favorite show. I made a lot of friends at the first show, and I liked making that comic so much. I said, I'm going to do another one. This is my hobby. Like, this is my hobby now. Because I had a great union job, John. I was working in a pharmaceutical label printing company. Factory. Wow. Yeah, I had a great union job. Yeah, dude. I was feeling powerful, and I found this new hobby where I made money off of it, which was like the best thing. So I did Sex Castle because I'm doing just the things I like. I love wrestling. I love 80s action movies. There it is. Holy smokes, ready to go. So I did Sex Castle.
Tyler, and forgive me because I know you've done a lot since Sex Castle, but it really is the book where I met you at, I believe, Cincy Comic-Con, Tony Moore's old show.
Oh, yeah.
Around about a year or so after you had started, because I want to say it was like 2016 or something like that.
It probably was. If I had that book, it was literally 2016. I think that's right. I think Rock Candy Mountain was 2017. I'm real bad at time because it feels like that was a million years ago and everything else was yesterday. So it's tough to keep track of. So anyway, long story short, I did Sex Castle as a Kickstarter. I went to shows with all the money. I just, what a great fun I'm having. And the long story short is Matt Fraction read it and liked it and put me in touch with Image, and that's how I've had a career. And I go, oh, this will be great. When I turned 40, they closed that factory down. They just outright closed it. So we were like, what do we do? And I go, well, we'll have to move. We've done this job every place we've done here. That's nice, Dan. And my wife was like, well, what if I worked like a full-time job, a better job, do you think you could make comics for a living? And I said, yeah. Well, I said, I think I could do 3 Kickstarters a year, which is crazy to me in 2026. So she cleaned hospital bathrooms, which is the worst job anyone could possibly have.
Wow, sure.
And what happened that year was I did a Kickstarter for Kill Them All. Rock Candy Mountain came out, and I got Rick and Morty. I started Rick and Morty all that year. So like, it's the universe over and over sort of aligning to help me out, to be kind to me. Yeah, we did Rick and Morty for a long time.
You did
5 years. How prolific. So yeah, so that's kind of my career. So I've done Legend of Ricky Thunder, Sex Castle, Kill Them All. I did Old Head as a Kickstarter. Of course, Sex Castle we gave to Image. Kill Them All went to Oni. It just got reprinted as a hardcover. Unbelievable. Old Head is still out there selling. We love it. It's spooky. It's sports. It's a good October read if you know any basketball fans or Dracula fans or people who hate toxic masculinity or dads. I don't know. It's for everybody. It's a weird book. So I done those. And then just a couple months ago, I did a Kickstarter for Where Monsters Lie Volume 3 because the publisher wasn't able to justify printing a 3rd volume. And me and the artist wanted to wrap that series up because we love it. And so we did a Kickstarter. So we're doing it. I love Kickstarter. I don't love it not being done. Like, so for Where Monsters Lie 3, we are literally raising money so I can pay Piotr and Vlad, who are the creative team on Where Monsters Lie, to do the book. Because they can't afford to work for free. They can't be like, let's finish it and then we'll put it out. Like, that's just not the way. So we raised money to do that, which I think is very exciting. I think it wasn't a lot of money. It was enough money for the 3 of us to get paid. And there's no royalties, obviously, with that because it's on Kickstarter. But we're glad to have finished it. That's a really fun series. I'm glad that we wrapped up. So that's probably going to be, I'm hoping to mail those out in February, but I have other stuff going on in February. I don't know if you know, John. I don't want to say.
Hey now.
I don't
Nice.
want to say. I don't want to say what's going on in February.
Have they announced what you're doing or no?
Yeah, they announced what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm doing.
All right, Vertigo for my audio audience. But what are you doing for Vertigo coming up?
Yeah, I have my Vertigo shirt. I'm doing a book called End of Life with Steve Pugh, which is a theoretical ongoing series. It's I pitch it as it's John Wick meets Northern Exposure. A real dumb hitman is on the run from his animal-themed international hitman cabal because he messed up. So he goes to hide out with his dad, who hates him, and he finds out his dad is dying. It's a real fun, goofball heartbreaker. That's what we like, full of action and violence. It's fun. I thought you were up on all this, John. I didn't know I was going to surprise you with listen, we did a Vertigo panel at New York Comic Con, which is why I was there. It's the only reason why I went to New York Comic Con, because what did you call it before? A CF, right? It's a clusterfuck. That's what you called it before. Yeah,
that's what it is.
But
no disrespect to Reed, but I'm not a fan of the show.
I like Repop a lot. It's a lot. The thing is, it's logistically a lot. So, but no, they're like we're announcing the Vertigo line, and the original 3 books were our teams. The plan is to keep original teams. So it's Return to Nice House on the Lake with James Tynan and that great artist whose name I don't know, but he's unbelievably good. And the other 3 teams were Dennis Camp and his artist from 20th Century Man are doing the zombie book. I can't think of the name of it. I'm sorry, Dennis, you're great. Chris Condon and Jacob Phillips are doing a book, which is called Something The Brutal Dark. It's an Ezra Kane mystery. I read the first issue. It's dope. I mean, it's that book, John, is ostensibly what if Sam Spade was Indiana Jones? It's pretty good. It's what if this sort of heavy drinking, fist throwing guy was Indiana Jones instead of sort of the more cerebral. It's great. And it's the same sort of like archaeological but semi-magical like Indiana Jones stuff that we like. That first issue was great. And that's the first wave. I wish I could think of Dennis's book, Blood something. I'm so sorry, Dennis. I'm sorry. And then the next 4 books, they announced the next 4.
You know,
go ahead. What's up?
I was going to say, shame on me for not being more up on my NYCC news.
I can't believe I don't.
Well,
I can't believe I'm blanking on it. I can see the cover. It's about zombies. There's 2 zombie books in the Vertigo line. They both look good. The other one's called Necretaceous. It's Tom Taylor, and it's about zombie dinosaurs. We love that. Ram V and one of his artists that I don't know, Mike Perkins. Is that someone? Is that a name? Okay.
Oh yeah, God, yeah, British guy, love him.
Yeah, British guy. Yes. Okay, good. They're doing a book called like The Bloody Tower or something, and it's Magic Spies. We're into that.
Oh wow, they did Swamp Thing together and had a great run.
Yes, that's right. So they're trying to keep. So the whole thing is like, what if they got these known creative teams together? So Tom Taylor, I think it's his artist from Nightwing. I'm not positive on that, but I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Dennis and this guy did 20th Century Man. Say his name.
I think Bruno Redondo, maybe.
No, it's not Bruno Redondo, but I wish it was.
All right,
and I could be wrong. I don't know a lot about Big 2 stuff. I'm a real dummy.
That's all right.
Mariko Tamako has a book.
She's
Cy Spurrier and Aaron Campbell are doing a book here. That sounds dope. That sounds really good. I don't know the name of it, but I thought it looked cool. A really cool horror concept. And most of these, I think, are 6 issues. But the plan is to have ongoing. So I know, like, the plan with Condon and Jacobs, that it's going to be 6-issue arcs that theoretically goes on forever. But me and Dennis are doing ongoing.
You are doing an ongoing. That's great. Wow. Yeah. Again, we'll see. Sales will predict if it continues or not.
Yeah, we're guaranteed a certain number of issues, so it'll be interesting. I'll tell you this. I think it's Black Tower, Bleeding Hearts. Thank you so much, Justin. Justin's a good boy, by the way. We love him. Black Tower. It's Black Tower. It's called Black Tower the Raven something. But of course, it's Rom V. You know it's going to be great. But after they did a little video because they weren't in New York Comic Con, and Chris Conroy, who's the editor, was like, everyone, I bet you're wondering where the very Vertigo title comes in. And it's like, here it is. It's Magic Spies. Amazing. And there's another book called Fanatic, and I don't know that creative team. It's 2 ladies, which makes me feel awful, but I don't know them. And that looked really cool. I thought it looked great. I think that's everything. If I'm forgetting something, I apologize, but I don't. Oh, Brian Azzarello is doing 100 Bullets again. Why would I forget that?
Oh, shame on me again. I got a book of Brian.
Yeah, it's coming back. It's called, and it has a cool name. I can't remember the name of it. I forget. I think I've not mentioned Brian Azzarello several times because I don't know why.
Well, he did that. Well, he did the Mount Rushmore for you on the.
That's right.
So yeah, no, that's cool. Brian's
Harold, I love that name. Also, I think Condon and Jacob Phillips is an unbelievable combo. I think they're so good together. Yeah, it is listen, Justin says, what a mouthful, but I'll tell you what, that's a cool name, The Peril of the Brutal Dark. And I love, like, for Pine and Merrimack, I was kind of hoping to, if we did more, not if we did more, it would be something like that. It would be the Cast Iron Gauntlet, a Pine and Merrimack mystery. And I like that a lot. Like, I really liked it. So I really love that sort of naming device. Blank, 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 a blank, blank mystery. I think it just sounds cool. And they're so good together. I think Condon, it's just really great teams. I mean, I think even if, and honestly, it's true for me. If you go, well, first of all, I'm gonna check all of them out because I'm excited about Vertigo coming back. And I'm a real team player, John. You know, I'm a real team player, but like, I think you go, oh, that person maybe doesn't. I think Dennis Camp's the nicest guy, but his stuff isn't for me. It just isn't for me. I think he's a great writer, objectively, but like he does. I'm not a vibe guy. Like and he does vibe stuff great, very cerebral vibe stuff, and that's not like I'm not a David Lynch guy. Sorry, but I'm not. And so but here's the thing: I'm going to read it because he's a really good writer, and I think you can go, well, that's not for me. Listen, the other 8 books are. I think the other 8 books. If one is not for you, the other 8 are. I think it's going to be cool. I think that Cy Spurrier book could be like something special. The pitch he gave at New York Comic Con was so smart and interesting. And my only thing while he was telling me, I'm like, how do you do this as an ongoing? It like I don't understand how you could prolong this. And they're like, that's a 6-issue or 8-issue miniseries. I'm like, that's perfect. Like it's perfect. I'm excited about Vertigo. I'm excited. I'm honored that they asked me because obviously that's insane. That they asked me to be with Bram V and Tom Taylor and Cy Spurrier.
Yeah, but I understand that. I can appreciate that feeling, Kyle. But again, I would say based on your Black Label Peacekeeper, that you
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker.
That's my favorite cover.
Fucking time, man. I do this, and I really thought 2 seasons of the TV show would break me from saying Peacekeeper instead of what I should say, Peacemaker. But no, man, that was obviously, and I'm so glad, Kyle, because again, I did miss that announcement, and I was wondering, gee, I hope DC still likes Kyle, and they're gonna let him do more stuff. So obviously, that's the case. That's great.
I hope they let me do even more stuff. I like DC a lot. I'm really I think they let even like with Condon. I was talking to Condon. They let us be us. Like they don't try to make they don't go. Let's put them on something. Like they and if we do something, it's like they don't ever go. Well, we want it to be more like they don't put me in a position where it's like, well, this is what I would do with Green Lantern. I don't want him in space. I don't like him. Why would I put him in space? I'm bad at that. And they'll be like, no, he's got to be in space. I'm like, you don't want me to do it then. So they don't ask me to do stuff like that. They asked me to do things. And then, for Brave and the Bold, they were like, who would you want to do? And I gave them a list. And of course, the first one on the list was Wild Dog, because that's the one I would do a really good job at. And they're like, yeah, let him do Wild Dog. And it's like, that's what I'm talking about. When they said we need someone to do Lobo, they asked me to do it. It's like, that's who I would do a really good job at Lobo. So I like that. I like that their editors seem to know who the talent is and where their strengths would be, and put them in a position to do things in their flavor and also to do a good job. Because it's not like me beating my head against because I wanted to do something,
But also, you're bringing a core audience, and they want a Kyle Starks. Well, you are. And truly, wait a minute. I understand. I'm sure you see the numbers, but it's got to start. Yeah, but it's got to start with something, Kyle.
Yeah.
And as opposed to, I don't know who the hell this guy is. You've got a track record, and it's still building, and that's great, man. That's cool.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, man. So no, they should do that. Who's your editor for the Vertigo book?
It's Chris Conroy. It's Chris Conroy, and Matt Levine's my assistant. And I think Chris. I'll tell you, I've not dealt with a bad editor who I was like,
is Conroy doing the whole line?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And he did Black Label, and I'm not sure what else he's done. He is a smart guy, and every note I've gotten from him has been correct, and that's the highest compliment I can give any editor.
Yeah. No, absolutely, man.
I love Matt Levine. I hope Matt Levine is given a lot more responsibility. He's assistant, but he's the guy I talk to regular. He's the regular guy I talk to.
Yeah.
He's the one. I like a lot of editors, fine, and I like some of his people a lot, but he's my favorite editor. I think it's safe to say he's my favorite editor.
That's outstanding, man. That's great. Forgive me, because I missed the Wild Dog Brave and Bold thing. Was that Wild Dog solo, or was he teamed with somebody?
No, so the Brave and the Bold, they just came out in trade, and there's I don't know what they're called. So they were doing these like 80-page anthology books. So it's like 2 Batman stories. And I know for mine, and I'm sorry I can't think of the artist's name, or the writer's name, did an Aquaman story, which was really good. And it's somebody of note, and I'm sorry. And I did Wild Dog, and I basically did 60 pages of Wild Dog. I think that's right. Over 3 issues. It's not, it's in like, I don't think I have them anymore.
I think you told me when we were talking about Peacemaker back in the day that you were going to do Wild Dog and everything. And I'm reasonably certain of that. I just couldn't remember if it teamed up with anybody or not.
I was certain it would never exist outside of those Brave and the Bold backups, but they put they ended up doing like 3 trades of Brave and the Bold. And the first one I think the main Batman story was a Tom King Batman story. And so there was a trade of that because he got more pages. And then there was a trade of sort of the backup Batman story, my story, and I feel so bad. It's not the Aquaman. I wish it was. And because he's in the next one, I think. So they sort of sparsed them out. I wish it would have gone on for a while, because I kind of wish anthologies were a thing in the US, because it gives you sort of more things to play with, and you can sell them cheaper. You can actually sell them cheaper. You know what I mean? For the page where it's like 22 for $5, you can do an 80 page. I think there was $7.99 or something.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So it's like, it's kind of a better deal if you just want to read stories, which is all I want to do. Like, Sam, I want stories. So to read a bunch of stories, and then like you have so many, it doesn't feel like you're waiting so long for the next month to me, just because there's more content. But for whatever reason, we hate them here. We hate them in America. I don't know why.
I for years, I'm like, instead of putting out 60 titles, put out 10 titles of anthologies. And like you said, Brave and Bold, fine. You got Flash, you got Aquaman, you got Green Lantern stories. I know Green Lantern's a big seller. But it's
you
that
can do
kind of
two.
thing that
You
I'm
can do
like,
two of those though. You can do World's Finest and Brave and the Bold. It's two different anthology series. Action Comics. You could do all these. Listen, we're when we fix it, when we fix everything, John, when they finally listen to us.
Yeah, when we're the Lord Gods of comic books, exactly.
We have ideas. I like it. It's funny you say anthology. This is again pull the string, but how do I say this without sounding like a ding dong? So here, I think maybe there's too many comics that come out every week. I think maybe there's too many comics, which I don't think is bad, but I do think it's bad if you want to. The market can only handle so much, so maybe it is bad. But I love that.
It's harder to stand out.
It's harder to stand out. So I have this wackadoo. I'd like to emphasize this is a wackadoo idea. This is a dumb idea. We shouldn't do it. But what if only 30 comics could come out each week, right? And it would be like Marvel and DC get 15, or they get 7 each, and then Image gets 5, and then Dark Horse gets 3. You break it down, right? And I go, the big problem against this is obviously, well, first of all, I think if you're an independent comic creator, I don't think floppies are the way to do it anymore. I think good trades are the way to do it, but that's another conversation entirely. But my one thing, like the one sort of logistic, it's like, well, that's so fewer titles for Marvel and DC. Like, how could they pull that off? Because they're only doing 20 issues a month instead of what. But if they did 3 or 4 anthologies, you're still doing the same thing. And here's why I like this one idea. It's so dumb, but I do think there's an endless number of books, obviously. As many books, it doesn't matter. Books don't matter. I think books are easier to put on a shelf, whatever. Is that there's 30 books, and I said, we're on this thing. I'm like, John, I'm doing a Booster Gold monthly for DC. You'd be like, you're going to do it monthly? You got one of the slots? I'd be like, I got one of the slots. And they go, it has to be good then. It has to be good. What an honor. You got one of the slots.
I get it. No, I'm with you, man. But also, some characters don't deserve ongoings, and that's no disrespect to anyone's favorite character, but that's just the truth. And that's what I loved when, prior to Flashpoint, when they were doing backups more regularly. And I remember Jeff Lemire had like an Atom backup, and I forget what it was.
Oh, that's
and
fun.
It's like, that's where the Atom belongs. I got a great idea for an Atom story. It's even 12 issues. Great. Yeah. There's 12 issues, or again, as the anthology thing, fine. For the next 4 months, there's an Atom feature. Great. Fine. Fantastic. And that's how you do a Hawkman or an Atom.
Yep. Here's the thing. I say maybe, but I say maybe because Vigilante had a 50-issue run. Booster Gold had a 50-issue run. And the biggest difference between now and then, I think, is that there was fewer comics.
Of course there were.
I've been doing this very mean example where how Barney Miller, the TV show Barney Miller, was on for 3 seasons, and it's not very good.
It was, my friend, first of all, Barney Miller was on for 8 seasons, and it was excellent, but keep going. I'm a massive Barney Miller fan, but keep going.
Then I feel like this is a bad example to use here.
Hypothetical for the purposes of your discussion. Go on.
I'm going to tell you that I watched 3 episodes of Barney Miller like 3 weeks ago, and I was like, I don't know how this show was on for so many seasons. But here's the thing: there was 4 channels. There's 4 channels. Of course.
Yes.
So if you go, we're putting Barney Miller in the. It has. And I'm not saying it was without value, but I was like, I don't understand how it was on for so long, right? It's because like the options were limited, and just like Booster Gold, and this is part of why Vertigo wants to do this ongoing, is because the retailers seem to think if things were promised as an ongoing and it's the same creative team, then that's what we're missing today. Because why did Booster Gold have 50 issues where it was Jurgens? Jurgens wrote the whole thing, I think.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, and it's like, well, that's it. It was the continuity of this, whatever. Like, was it very, very good? I just read like the first 20 issues. It wasn't that good. It was fine.
Vigilante and Kupperberg was
Vigilante. I liked.
Was Marv Wolfman, and then Kupperberg took over for like 30 issues.
Yeah, and I really like Vigilante, which so I get why that. I don't. How many issues did now? I'd say the question was art, but how many issues was that? Probably 50 also, or more.
Probably around 50, and that was Denny O'Neil and Dennis Cowan and Sienkiewicz.
And I would say that was art. Like I'd say that book was art. So you go, well, it's a different. Can you imagine?
Don't sell Denny O'Neil short, man. No, they were good stories along with the art. They were
Yeah.
noir.
No. I'm saying everything about it. I'm saying everything about it was art, not just beautiful art.
Yeah.
I'm saying they were
I see. The
cerebral.
whole production was art. Absolutely.
Yeah, right.
100%.
And like Starman did it. Like Starman wasn't a character that anyone cared. So what's the difference 30 years later, right? I guess we're at 30 years later now, which I don't want to think about. And it's like, is it that it's not James Robinson doing 50 issues of Starman? I don't know. I would have done at least 50 issues of I Hate This Place. The market didn't bear it, right? I would have done I would have done 4 arcs, which I would have done 16 issues, which, by the way, embarrassing. I would have done 16 issues of Where Monsters Lie in my sleep and had a great time. But the market doesn't bear it. And it's like, well, why is that? Is it because there's too many comics? Is it because they're so expensive? Is it because the audience is dwindling? I don't know. But I do think there's an answer, and I think there's a solution. If we knew that answer, we should know we should know. And you go, what's all those things, Kyle? Like, well, that's probably true. It probably is all those things. But what if we tried an anthology? And we did an anthology, and it was like this. The Brave and the Bold seems like, well, it didn't work. Where you go, it's Batman. Who do I love? It's Batman. It's a Booster Blue Beetle backup. It's Wild Dog, and it's Blue Devil. Something like that, right? It's 3 characters who are interesting that we would, as creators, we would all like a shot at. Or you go, it's like you said, it's the guys who don't have books right now, but they're big deal guys, right? Hawkman, the Atom,
Martian Man. Well, right now, obviously, Dennis.
Listen, the Martian Man.
Absolute Martian Man.
Yeah, that's great. Fist fight. I would fist fight anyone in the industry to do a 10-issue Martian Manhunter series, and I'd fix him and I'd save him. I said it. I put it on the world. I'm manifesting it. I'd fist fight. Hold on.
So he wouldn't have to be in space or anything like that. He'd be Earthbound, I would assume, when you're doing it.
I think that I don't want to get into what I think mistakes were in the past with Martian Manhunter, because I think there's some good Martian Manhunter series, but I think I know why he's not more popular. And I don't think anyone's acted on it. I think there's some very clear things that would solve a lot of problems with him by just placing him in. I think he should be a character-driven hero. I think he's someone that we should be able to relate to as basically an illegal alien. You know what I mean? Basically an illegal alien. Yeah, I think he's very interesting.
100%. Absolutely, for our times. That's a hero for our times. No question about that. And I think you're right. That's very interesting. And go ahead.
No, I think like the detective angle with him. I think that there's just certain things about him that are. Here's the thing. Here's what I think I want to look at Martian Manhunter, who I love, because I love that he serves as, in the Justice League. He's never the leader. He's never the muscle. He's never the heavy. He's kind of HR. You know what I mean? He's kind of
the HR. Help me.
He's kind of human resource. He's kind of human resources. Yeah. Like he's kind of what I just mean in terms like he's more like sort of organizational. You know what I mean?
So in the chain, but certainly not leading the chain. I'm with you.
Yeah. He's very important for the practical functioning of it. But no one is ever going, okay, send so and so in, send John in. They never do it. And the thing is like functionally, and he is literally Batman and Superman smushed together. He's literally those two guys smushed together.
Sure.
And I feel like why is he
Superman? And I see it more as Superman, Mr. Spock. But I'll take Batman, Superman. Sure.
No, he's a master detective, right? Yes. He's a master detective who has all of the powers.
Yes.
And so I think he's a great character. Like, why does he not enforce his will? Why is he okay? I think these are very interesting things, and they're character things. And I think there's so much you could do. There's so many angles you could do. And I think it shows you, like, I think character has been lost somewhat since the movie started, because you just assume people know why we like Tony Stark or whatever. But you think like no one really cared about Martian Manhunter, which I think is fair, until Giffen said he likes Oreos. And then it's like we like him so much more because you know what? We can relate to him as a real existing being. Yeah. And I think we've lost that. And I'm very character driven in all my stuff. It's my curse. And I'm trying to bring it back. I'm trying to make comics fun again. And I'm trying to bring back to, let's lean into character a little bit more, because I think when I think of like why I love superheroes, it's not because of their cool powers. It's not because of whatever. Not always. Sometimes it's their cool powers. Sometimes it's a cool adventure. But like, I love Byrne Claremont X-Men, and I can't be like I loved it when they fought X. I can't be like I loved it when they fought X. You know what I loved? When they went to the bar. I liked it when they played baseball. I liked it when Colossus was totally falling in love with Kitty Pryde. I like the humanity of it, and it's like that's what I remember, is that these were real people who also had to have exceptional abilities and were doing their best to make the world better. And I think at some point we got far away because of page count. But also because I think event and scale became very important. Like the next one has to be bigger. But man, You guys remember when the X-Men went to the bar and fought Juggernaut? That's like one of the best comics ever. And like they could have not even had that fight. Like they could have not even been that fight, and it would have been great.
Even for the Fantastic Four, when they would
especially the Fantastic Four.
Well, but in particular, when Reed and Doom would have dinner every year.
Yeah.
And just sit down and have a conversation. And hey man, well, I always point out Grant Morrison when he did a miniseries of the Fantastic Four. And I'm like the most interesting dynamic in the Fantastic Four. And yes, there's Reed and Victor Von Doom, but for me, it's Ben Grimm and Victor Von Doom, because especially in the old continuity, because they went to college together and both think the other is the biggest jerk in the world. Yeah. And in Ben's mind, it's and I this is what I loved about in Grant's run, that Ben is calling him Vic. He's like, something, Vic,
which he should,
and he's calling him that just to screw with Victor Von Doom. Yeah. But like, he's like, you were that nerdy little jerk that was so shitty to my best friend. F you. And meanwhile, Doom is like, you dumb big jock. Even with all that power, you're still the same simpleton you were on campus. Mm-hmm. And that to me is just gold. And it is focusing on character, and that's what makes it cool. So I'm with you.
I think so too. I love character, and it's kind of my thing. It's kind of what I write. I feel like, for better or for worse. I could be biased. I could be biased, John. I could be biased.
Well, and I respect it. No. Yeah, man. I stick to your guns. You have good opinions. Are there other C-level, and I only say that because they don't have their own books or whatever, because I'd be curious if, like, even some of the weirder DC stuff, like the Inferior Five, would that ever appeal to you? Do you know about the Inferior Five?
I do know about the Inferior Five. Is that the one that had the girl who had the bunny ears? Is that the Inferior Five? Yeah.
Dumb bunny.
I mean, so like when I did Peacemaker, I put a lot of those guys in there, and not because of a bit, just because I love them, and I thought it might be the only DC book I ever do. And like I might never get to use, Snowflame or the Demolition Team. I might not be able to use those guys. They should use them while I have the chance. General Immortus. I love General Immortus. And so that was a lot of that. And
sure, man.
Lobo exists outside of canon, or he works best when he is on his Lobo adventures. Giffen almost always had him on his own, so that's what we did for that. And I wanted it to be Lobo. But yeah, I mean, listen, the little weirdos are the best. The little weirdos are the best for a million reasons. One, generally they got to be more human because they were a throw-in, and because they were a throw-in, no one cared, so no one's ruined them since. So, like I say, without hyperbole, like D-Man is D-Man from the Grunwald, like pre-Grunwald. He was in the Thing when Thing was doing his solo title, but it wasn't called The Thing. What was it? Yeah,
Marvel 2-in-1. Yeah,
Marvel 2-in-1. I love D-Man because, and the thing is, like, they did ruin him because eventually they're like, oh, he's a homeless guy. It's like, which isn't true, which isn't even canonically
so did you not like when Bendis brought him back in the Avengers? You didn't like him?
No, he didn't do it. Bendis didn't do that.
No, he did. He had him
No, Busiek did it first, though, in that Perez, when they had that giant, yes. And I love Busiek. I think he's a genius. I think he's a GOAT. I think he's one of the greatest superhero writers of all time. But when he did that Avengers run, he had a joke where they're like all sitting in these balcony. They're sitting in like this, like an auditorium. And D-Man stinks because he's homeless, right? So no one's sitting next to him. It's like, so that became the low-hanging fruit, like Dennis Dunphy joke. But the thing is, he was, and I'm going to say this because it's my soapbox.
Justice for D-Man. I'm all for
Justice for D-Man. Here's the story with D-Man. So D-Man, through all of his adventures, is like the most loyal, sweetest guy. But he was the world champion of the Unlimited Wrestling Power Federation, which was superhero wrestling. Let's bring it back to wrestling. Wrestle Heights comes out December 17th by Kyle Starks. And he was rich, dude. So when Captain America went missing, when he quit being Captain America because screw the United States, right? Dennis, Nomad, and Falcon went cross-country trying to find Steve Rogers while U.S. Agent was, and I'm blanking on U.S. Agent's name. That's such a bad comic book. Yeah. When he was filling in and being crazy with Captain America, so D-Man is literally flying these guys in his private jet across country. Like, it's in the book. It's in the Grunwald book. And then adventures. And at the end of that run, they come across these, like, not Morlocks, but they're another group of sort of homeless superhero characters, right? But they're not superheroes. They were just different homeless people. And he's like, I'm going to stay with. Yeah, they were like they were underground dwellers, and they're called like the special people. This is the dumbest name. They had a terrible name. Anyway, he's like, I'm going to stay with these people, and I'm going to help them out. Like he's trying to help these people. And like, he became a homeless person. It's like, get out of here. So I
gotta look this up on Marvel Unlimited, man, and then read some of those stories that you were telling me about.
Oh my god,
because that's my blind spot, man, in the '90s. You know,
those Grunwald Captain Americas are some of my favorites, and that stuff. That's when the U.S. agent costume debuts, because they finally find Steve. And they're like the world needs Steve Rogers, the hero, and they're like look. And Dennis, this is a Marvel factoid that I love to spout out that only no one ever remembers. Dennis Dunphy made that costume. D-Man made the U.S. agent costume. He sewed it up for him. So that U.S. agent is D-Man. D-Man made his own terrible suit too, obviously. But he made the U.S. agent costume, which I think is hilarious. That bit was good. Nomad hates D-Man. He despises him. It's very funny. It's like a fun little bro adventure, and I love Grunwald. I think, and speaking of Busiek, I think some guys are so good at writing pure superhero stories, and I think those two guys are two of the goats of the modern goats.
I'm with you.
I think if Grunwald could have wrote dialogue, like good dialogue, I think we would think of him differently. He would be so high up just because they're pure fun superhero stories, and no one ever hates a pure fun superhero story. Like you never go, well, there's no complaints. We had fun. If we had fun, then it's fun, and I think comics should be fun.
Was Steve the captain then, or was he totally not doing anything?
He was nothing. He was hiding. I can't remember where he was hiding out because I haven't read it for a while. But they eventually found him. Like they're flying. Like they go to Vegas and they find some clue, and then they fly someplace else.
Pete Beiser says, "Love digging into my archives and reading the old stuff. Going down a Barry Windsor Smith rabbit hole right now. Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
That's a lot of Exo Manowar.
Sure, of course. Another character I'd love to see you tackle in the DC world that I don't think gets enough love, and that's their Nick Fury, King Faraday. And I would think
that's interesting.
He's a secret agent and everything, and it's a play on the phrase "King for a Day." People figure out that's what.
There's a lot. I would say I raised myself a Marvel boy, but I like DC a lot because the things I like in DC, Justice League, the Gifted Justice League, the things I like a lot. Lobo, anything Giffen. I mean, let's be honest, anything Giffen I liked a lot. I'm maybe biased in that regard, but they have a bunch of characters. There's a ton of characters. Why aren't I doing a Justice League comic or a Justice Gang comic right now? Come on, give me those dummies.
God, dude, and I wondered with the second Peacemaker comic. And I know James Gunn really took, a heavy involvement in it. And Seeley, my buddy Tim Seeley, was doing the Eagly vigilante backup and everything. But did you ask, or was there a conversation at all potentially of you coming back and doing that comic?
When I saw the movie, I texted Matt Levine, my editor. I didn't hear anything back. But listen, I get it. We're trying to build ourselves up to the point where they'll go, oh, we should let Kyle do that. That's what we're trying to do. And right. But I would say, like, if we're going down the list of big violent DC dummies, I've done the top two with Peacemaker and Lobo. And I feel like if we're all going to be honest, Guy Gardner's the next one, right? He has to be the next one.
Oh, sure.
But we'll see. We'll see what DC lets me do and not do. We're hoping the Vertigo thing does really well and people are really excited about it and they see the value of me doing maybe something in Gotham or maybe in Elseworlds or who knows what, right? Like maybe a clear comedy character that people like that James Gunn's mentioned. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I'm hoping they give me the opportunity. At this point, like if we're gonna be like, look, Resto Ice comes out in December with Image. It's my first Image book since 2017. It's the first series that I'm writing and drawing in the direct market as a series since 2017. And I think it's a good, fun idea. Like I needed to do modestly well. Like I need to do modestly well because I don't understand the industry right now. And that's going to roll into Vertigo, where I believe me and Steve Pugh made a very good comic book. And it's different. But don't we want different? I think we do. But it's action, it's fun, it's emotional, it's dumb, but it's cool. I think it's a really. I think it's got that Peacemaker, which is I think is very Kyle Starks, that sort of sex castle. I think it feels like a Me comic, and I love that. You know what I mean? Like I think the people who read the Me comics like them a lot. Sometimes it takes a few years for people to be like, "Wow, Assassination's really good." I'm like, "Yeah, I like that a lot." It came out 4 years ago. Thank you for saying something now.
Well,
it would have been cool if you bought it when it was coming out, but that's okay.
How do you, beyond the obvious of social media, how do you engage with your community? Do you engage?
This is it.
God bless you for coming back, buddy. Well, but Kyle, that's the and forgive me, Kyle, because I don't want to manage your career. And also, we want you to make that. You definitely don't want me managing your career. But I always say the metaphor is from Dunkin' Donuts old commercials. We want you to make the donuts. We don't necessarily want you to talk about making the donuts. But yeah, man, I would think that there's enough, that maybe like a Discord or a Substack or something. And again, you don't have to, I respect, because again, you got to juggle actually writing and drawing the books with engaging in the audience. But yeah, I mean, some sort of engagement with your community to let them know, hey, if you haven't checked out, if you like my Rick and Morty run, you should check out Sex Castle. You should check out the other stuff that I've done.
I think we could have a very long conversation about these things specifically. The people who read Rick and Morty were not comic fans necessarily. They didn't care who was writing it. It didn't matter who was writing it. They just liked Rick and Morty. So when I did Rick and Morty, which by the way was great for me because it was the most popular thing in the world. And in terms of a career, and this I think is true as everything, it did show publishers that I can do multiple books with steady consistency, that I'm professional, that I don't miss deadlines. And it's always pretty good. It's always pretty good, right? So there's a value in that. And I think every book I put out, someone in the industry is reading and saying something. But it's outside of, I had a big bump in 2024 because I Hate This Place, which is very well in the horror realm. I had Where Monsters Lie, which sold out, and I had Peacemaker. So I had a thing where like a lot of people read my book for the first time. And because of that, a lot of people bought Rock Candy Mountain, which is why they reprinted it last year or that year, is because that was the book that people were getting. You go, well, why was it that book? And I'd say, well, my guess is because stores still had it from 2017. And so like that was the book that they have because the other ones didn't sell that well. So why would they have a trade of Assassination or Six Sidekicks or Old Head? Or why would they have it? They only ordered one copy and they sold it. So we always hope this next thing because I don't want to name drop it. I was having this lament with Ram V at San Diego Comic-Con 2 years ago. And he said, all you can do is make great books. And that is what I've done. And that's true. All I can do is make great books. But what I learned over last year, John, is like, that's not true because the publishers aren't promoting. And if the publishers aren't promoting, then I have to promote. And if I have to promote, right. Yeah. So it's me doing a lot more work than what I have to. So it's like, yeah, Substack's great. But I also have, right now I have 4 books I could talk about. But in 4 months, I'll have 1 book to talk about. So it's like, what's that Substack? I don't know. I don't have that much to talk about. I'm not very interesting. And I like to have these conversations. I like to have conversations, but I don't know what I would announce to people. But I'm gonna, for what it's worth, thoughts on the Doom Patrol. Grant Morrison's Doom Patrol is maybe it's definitely a top 5 series. I think for me, I think it's probably a top 5 series for me. Cliff Steele talking about. I love big violent dummies, and Cliff is not necessarily that. He's a big, thoughtful, violent guy. But I love all those characters. I love all Doom Patrol. There's a period in there I'm not crazy about. We don't need to talk about a couple periods that are great. But I think early Doom Patrol is amazing. What a great idea. I think the Morrison Doom Patrols, that team with Crazy Jane and Cliff. Cliff is one of my favorite characters because I like nothing more. And I think if you've read any of my creator-owned stuff, there's always a guy like this. Or almost always. I like the guy who never gives up, who just keeps getting back up. Is one of my favorite archetypes. And that's Cliff Steele. Cliff Steele's Rocky to me. Like he's 100%. Is he the best fighter? Is he the best fighter? No. Is he the smartest guy? Is he going to outsmart you? No. But you know what he will do? He will never ever give up. And what was great about the Morrison run was that was true emotionally of his friends. He would never give up on Jane. He would never give up on Negative Man. He would never give up on name whoever. I can the Street. Danny's cool. We don't talk about him anyway. Doom Patrol is one of my favorites. I would do Doom Patrol, but I'm not very cerebral and I'm not surreal, so I don't know. And I think it should be those things. And so I don't know if I'm the fit for that. But if they're like just Cliff Steele, I could do a Cliff Steele in my sleep. I'd do Cliff Steele in my sleep.
There was a Golden Age robot man, and he was in All-Star Squadron with.
Yeah, I love him.
team. But I would almost retcon and make Cliff a guy that straddled all the eras, and that because he's Robot Man has been around since the 40s and has that wisdom, but because he's Robot Man can still do it, you know?
I pitched a character once when Vertigo, for a second they were like, what if it's old, like what superhero would you reboot for like a second, for like a day? And they might have only asked me for all I know. And I did a lot of research, and I did pitch a character who had been around for a long time, but wasn't a major character. He was a minor character. And I thought, wouldn't it be interesting to follow this guy who was just on sort of the rim of all these big moments, and he went through all these different power types and all these different character, like a really interesting guy who I think just, you go, what is that guy like now, where he's kind of a failure, but he knows everyone and he's seen everything. So I like when people like say, oh, they've been around forever. You say that, like, I've always thought, like, I would definitely have those guys. They have to fight each other if you do a Cliff Steele series. Like, they have to. Robot Man on Robot Man violence. We love it. I think so. So each book I think is good for editors and for my peers. But they're $5. Why would you try something? You know what I mean? Like, why would you just try something? So at some point you have to prove, and usually it's like, look, I did Peacemaker. I thought me showing 6 issues, but you can only get a hardcover. You know what I mean? Maybe the stores thought it was just cashing in on a TV IP and it wasn't a good comic. They didn't read it. I don't know. But I thought that would be the one where a lot of people read my book. And it is. They did. But that book didn't sell that great. It just didn't. It sold fine.
Is it back in print because of season 2?
It's never gone out of print.
Okay, good. Well, there you go.
Now that it hasn't gone to a second printing, it's never gone out of print.
Oh, I see. So they still have inventory.
Yeah.
I'm with you now.
So, and they're doing they haven't announced it, I think, but I know they're doing a soft cover soon, which I think is good because it's cheaper. $25 is a lot. I know for big comic book fans, they love the hardcovers, but if you just like Peacemaker and you don't like comics, why would you spend $25? I don't know why you would.
Are they going to, for the soft cover, are they going to do that DC Direct format?
I don't think they are, but I want to be in DC Direct. I need to, because I think it's a very good DC Direct story. I think it would fit really good in that sort of format, but also maybe I'm biased. So you hope, so you go, well, what's the book that people are going to look at where they're finally going to read me? It wasn't Peacemaker, which is fine. That was my biggest book after Rick and Morty. No one cared about Rick and Morty. I wish I could be like, wow, it was so good for me, but no one cared who wrote that. No one cared. They just wanted Rick and Morty. And I don't think they cared if it was good or bad. It just happened to be good. So I'm optimistic. I'm hoping that it's going to be this Vertigo book, because there's going to be, I think retailers are going to finally have eyes. And I think they'll read my book and go, this is fun and it's interesting and it's neat and it's different, but it's still action oriented. And that's the hope, is that this is the book where not finally, you know what I'm one to say, is like more finally people pay attention. And maybe it's not, but I am 10 years in, and I think 10 years is when it's finally supposed to happen.
It starts to happen.
Great.
No, I hear you.
I've done well, but it's like I don't have. Yeah.
Honestly, no. Well, but Rob is right. All you can do is put out good stuff. And I really, Claymore was on with me last night, and we were talking about this too. Just in terms of, there are so many other distribution outlets beyond the stores. Yeah, and it's just, you got to hit them all. And now will this stuff will be available. Is your stuff in general available digitally as well?
How would I know?
Well, Image, like your Image stuff, has it been?
Well, Image used to have their own digital shop that they don't have anymore. So I don't know. I know.
Go ahead. Yeah. What do you know?
I know, like we have Hoopla. We have a library app, Hoopla. And all my stuff's on Hoopla, which you can read for free. Which do it. Yep. If I did a good job, you want to buy something. Maybe you'll try.
Everybody, if you don't know what Hoopla is, it's come up in conversation before.
Sorry.
That's the library digital comic service. So yeah, if you got a library card, you got access to Hoopla.
It's great. I love it. I love Hoopla.
Is there. Tons of stuff is there. Not only all the big indie stuff and the big too. Absolutely, man.
Yeah, all of my stuff is on there. So listen, on Comixology, I assume. I mean, I think but no one. It's on Global Comics. Here's the thing: there's Global Comics. There's going to be Neon Ichiban.
Right.
Justin's taking care of me tonight. He's my little helper, and I love it.
Justin, you're our ombudsman. Thank you very much for
Comixology. There's going to be Neon Ichiban. There's Global Comics. That doesn't work. You know what I mean? Like, it's too much. It's too many. I don't think the digital market. We should have leaned hard into the digital a long time ago. We should be pushing digital super hard as a very cheap alternative. that you can get anywhere. That it's the news, it's the grocery store. That's right. Everything is on there. Grocery store.
Justin says everything of
I'm almost certain
Kyle's is that likely. I'm assuming Global and not Hoopla, but maybe it's both. I don't know.
It's maybe it's on Global. Yeah, I don't know. Is Dead of Winter on there?
That's a good question. Look it up, Justin. We're doing a show. Thanks, Justin.
Yeah,
Thanks for the help.
It is out there, but I can tell you, like, for me, that's a very small market.
Okay. Yeah, he's confirming it's what he's talking about.
Oh yeah, all right, awesome.
Okay. Yeah, but again, I mean, that's the thing. It's you got to hit them all, and eventually,
100%.
Yeah,
100%. And there's questions. There's bigger questions. Is like, is the direct market necessarily the right place to be doing comics now? I don't know. I don't know if necessarily it is. I, for one, look at the comics. When I think of comics, it's a store. But when I go to Barnes and Noble, that's getting smaller and smaller. And that's very unsettling to me, who's making Wrestle Heist. Let's say that specifically. I'm making that because I want to give someone a good, fun story. I want people to have like a respite. What if I made a fun little story for you? Like a fun little comic that was full of real people that you could relate to, that had, you know what I mean? But it's fun though. It's fun, but you feel things, and it's a good adventure. Like, that's what I'm doing. And so I'm doing that for people to read them. And I would love to be rich, homie. This is blurred out because I'm in an unfinished basement in Southern Indiana. You know what I mean? I'm in an unfinished basement. These are metal rails, and the walls are dripping concrete. Probably.
Why do you think half my lights are off? Why do you think half of my lights are off, Kyle? Don't sweat it. I'm Oscar Madison personified. By the way, Justin says,
Mars
Attacks is but your Mars Attacks run is, so that's cool.
That book's out of print, and I think it's one of my 5 best books I've ever done. I did it with best friend Chris Schweitzer. So hey, listen, if you're looking for a Kyle Starks book deep cut, I do think I like Mars Attacks fine. I think that's a great. A father and son are trying to work out their relationship as the world ends. I think it's a good one. It's fun. It's funny. Chris Schweitzer goes balls to the wall on that. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you, Justin. Because now I'll tell Chris too. He'll be very excited. I think the industry is very interesting right now, and I don't mean that in a bad way. But I do think it's just like, how do I promote? Well, I think social media is bad right now. I think social media is bad. So you go, well, I talked about all my books, but I don't want to talk about them all the time. Like Wrestle Heist. Sure. I'm not mentioning it every day before FOC, but I should be mentioning it 3 times a day, because you know what? The people who look at Blue Sky at 11 don't necessarily look at 8, right? And the algorithm's so weird that if they didn't look at around the time I posted, they probably won't see it. There's no Twitter anymore. And if you tell me there is, I don't believe you. I would never do Facebook because it's crazy. So it's like, I don't know. Instagram's dying because of this or that, right? Instagram isn't what it used to be.
Forgive me. I'm an old man. I didn't realize Instagram was dying. Talk to me.
It's not doing great because they changed the algorithm in a way that it used to be you could just follow and you can, but it's a pain in the ass. It's literally all these companies changing the algorithm is the problem, because you can't just see your friends talking. They want to throw in these ads. They want to throw in promoted guys. Why are they promoted? We don't know. Why can't I just see Kyle's Pouchtober post or whatever? I don't know, guys. I'm trying. But because of that, when I started in 2007, we'll say 16, 17, Twitter, if you could get it to be seen in the comics community, which was a circle of people who were bouncing off each other, who, by the way, were very positive about comics and very enthusiastic about comics then. But you're always, here's my friends, and if my friend retweeted something, I saw it, and I was like, oh, what's that? And maybe you follow a new person who's your new friend. It's not like that anymore. There just isn't a place to go, this is it. And if that's the case, John, I think people on Discord, I think a lot of people are doing private Discords, which is awesome, because we should curate our relationships.
They are siloed off into their own communities and everything. So I understand.
And I know a lot of people are doing newsletters, but how would they know I'm doing a newsletter? How would anyone ever know? Right? So I say that, and I think either there's a non-direct market approach, which we don't need to talk about. I'm not 100% sure what that is for Western comic creators, or it's like we really need to lean on retailers, not lean on, but we need to really prioritize retailers. We need to, as publishers, probably not artists, but publishers, go, what can we do to make it better for you? What can we do to make sure you know what we're putting out? Also, if I was a publisher, I'd be like, look, we have 10 books coming out. If I was a publisher, and I'm not, I'm Kyle Starks, and I go, we have 10 books coming out this month. 3 of them are bangers. 3 of them are good. One of them's probably, like, we're going to have to push it. But if people talk about it, word of mouth will pick up. They don't do that. They don't do that. Why? I don't know. Why is it every store is, I'm trying not to pull the string, John, but every store is different. Some stores love posters, like love posters. Some hate posters. Don't give me a poster, which just goes in the trash. Some love a video, like a video from a creator. They'll play it on their TV. our video, our a little video about we had a cool I hate this place video. They want one of those, like a little motion video. Some want a little something they can hand out, a bookmark or a postcard, just a little something to be like, oh, they'll put it in the bag with you. But they're all different. But if I was a publisher, I'd be like, oh, this percentage of stores likes posters, so we need to print that many posters. I don't understand. So if retailers are the most important place, because it's the only place you can buy Wrestle Heist #1. It's the only place you can buy Wrestle Heist #1 is in a store. You can't go to Barnes & Nobles and buy it. You can't go to your grocery store. You can't go to the news agent because there aren't news agents anymore. You can't go to the cigarette shop because they're not cigarette shops. Well, they are, but they're vape stores. They don't sell comics anymore. No, gas stations. I think some gas stations in California have DC Comics, which I love, but I bet they're still $5, which I don't love. Neither here nor there. So if we can only buy this in one place, and the success of the series relies 100% on going to that one place, I feel like as our side, the creation side and the distribution side, we should be going crazy to go, what can we do? I just sent out a bulk email. I hate sending out bulk emails. I never do it, but I want Wrestle Heist to do well. I really want Wrestle Heist to do well. So I sent one to retailers. I sent one to my podcast friends because it's been a while. I don't know. We maybe talked earlier in the year.
Kyle, that's what you do, man. Absolutely let us know when you got something new. That's what you got to do, man.
And it's like I haven't been on for a while, so it's like anyone's I haven't been on for a while. And some people have like a once a year policy. So and I sent one to my peers because it's like I need this book to do well. I don't know what else to do. Like I literally don't know what else to do besides what can I do to make this book do better? What can I do to help you? And of course, John, you're always good to me. You're like, let's jump on this week. And I'm like, please put me on. Let me talk about it. I think it's a good book.
Again, we'll remind people that not only should you pick up Wrestle Heist when it comes out in the stores, but if you really want to do Kyle a solid, go to your LCS and order it by Monday because that's the cutoff to order it. So it comes in December. But no, man, absolutely. And hey, we're helping each other, Kyle. And also, I don't have a once-a-year policy. I expect you to come back in February when the Vertigo book is ready to rock. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, I hope I'm crazy busy doing these in February and December, frankly, because I want to talk about Wrestle Heist. And the thing is, it's such a complicated industry because the FOC it's such a dumb industry, but also so important. So look, the FOC is really important, and you go, well, why? I'll just buy it when it comes out, right? It's like, okay, well, that's fine. And let's say everyone goes buys it. They don't FOC it, so all the stores order 10 copies, or please order 10 copies, and they sell all 10 copies, and you go, that's great. Well, then they go, well, no, we have to reprint it. Well, now that's 2 months later. So you're not getting that number. It's complicated because you're still not getting that #1.
I hear you.
Maybe you're getting #1 when #2 comes out, but also it means a bunch of people went in there to get it because they heard it was good from the 20,000 people. I wish. Give me 20,000, John. I'll lose my mind. The 20,000 people who bought it loved it. So they're telling your friends like, oh, there's this wrestling comic. I really liked it. You like wrestling. Or you like heists, or you like having fun, or you like good comics. And you should go check this out. Well, it won't be there because you didn't FOC it. Like you didn't pre-order it. And that's so stupid. But it's the industry. You have to pre-order at a comic shop. You really should. If you can, you should. They don't mind. They like it. They like to listen. It's hard to order comics. They like to have help. Your store likes 100%. To know exactly how many to order.
They want to sell it to you, so they want to know what to stock in their store, knowing that they're going to sell it. Absolutely,
they love it. And some of these stores, I'm not like very store. The business is so different from when I worked in a shop in the '90s because I know some you can like there's like not text, but there's like you can be like add this to my pull list, and it just automatically adds it to your pull list. That stuff's dope. You can do that. You don't have to talk to somebody. That's awesome. But it's like such a weird way to do business. Is like that FOC is so important because if it sells out, that's great, but it also means they didn't order enough. And I technically lose money on a reprint, like unless the reprint does very, very well, like an 8 Billion Genies. Like I will lose money on a reprint. It will bite into my total profits because now they're doing another print run, which is minus the cost of that print run versus whatever profits I would have had. Well, if it was low orders, right? You're with me. It's complicated. It's complicated.
You think? Unfortunately, it is.
I know. You think it would just be I can make a good comic and people will love it and it'll be great. And I think that's true, but I want people to be able to get it too. I want people to be able to get it. So you got to pre-order. Oh my gosh, you have to do it.
Well, again, that's why as soon as you sent out that email to everybody and you said that your final cutoff was Monday, I'm like, well, I got time this week. I'm like, I'll talk to Kyle and I'll, we'll make it happen. Don't worry about it, man.
Yeah, so I love that. Also,
happy to help.
I'm so blessed to have that, and I appreciate it so much. I think I literally, despite asking, like I found out Wednesday when I got back from New York Comic Con that 2 weeks was FOC. I wanted to send out stickers. I did ash cans for New York Comic Con. I was going to mail out the extra ones to stores. Like, I don't get to do that. So now I just have a pile of
ephemera.
Ephemera.
What's your next con?
Chicago at this point, I think.
Oh, next April. Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing like a library show in Nowhere, Indiana, because Gene Ha asked me to, and I was like, of course, Gene.
One of the sweethearts
of the reaching out. Yeah, he's like, you're in Indiana, right? I'm like, I'm the one. That's not true. There's a few of us, but so I'm doing a library show in November, and then in March I'm doing Emerald City and Chicago, which is a month after Vertigo, and it'll be like issue 4 of Wrestle Heist. And after that, I know I'm doing Heroes. That might be all I do next year. I'm very tired. The shows aren't as profitable as they used to be. Of course, I say all that, John. And if someone's like, "Hey, we'll give you X amount of dollars and fly you out," I'd probably say yes because I like doing them. But they're just not what they used to be for me because I'm in that weird range of not a big enough name to benefit from existing. And even like Rick and Morty was great. And I thought Peacemaker would be great, and it wasn't. So it's one of those things like until I have a run on Teen Titans, I don't know.
I hear what you're
I don't know
saying,
what I don't know the thing is that I would like to do that someone would love. Justice Gang. Well, even then, I think it's too far out of it might be too far out of the memory of the public to be like, what do you have? Justice Gang, you said? I'm like, you remember that? That was me.
I have a suspicion, given that, the Lantern show is coming up, that certainly Guy is going to be on that Lantern HBO show. And it would shock me if there wasn't some sort of continuation. Because that's the thing I got to say for Gunn. I was really worried after the Superman movie that it might be 5 years before we get a sequel. I know we're getting Supergirl next year. Yeah. I imagine that Corn Sweat might make an appearance in it. And if he does or doesn't, that's fine. But I was so pleased with the seeds that were planted in season 2 of Peacemaker and also even Creature Commandos.
Yep.
And it's like, no, Gunn is doing it the right way. Sprinkle these characters in everything you do. And that way people don't feel like, wow, it's been forever since we saw Guy Gardner and he was so great.
Yep.
And that goes for Hawkman or Hawkgirl and Mr. Terrific for that matter as well. And it's like, no, these are good ideas. Put them in everything, and I think you're going to be all right. And Marvel used to do that, and I think
it started
to a degree with what ifs and Marvel Zombies and things. But yeah, I mean, it's like, no, you got to, I really think James is doing it right. I really do.
I think he's a great storyteller, and I trust him. I wish we were getting a third Peacemaker, but that's just bias on my part. Is that I love it so much.
Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens in the next couple, because and again, where they left things in season 2 is going to be explored in the sequel, and
in some movie, right? In one of these movies, because they built
Sanctuary, whatever it's called.
Yeah, and they're going to do Sanctuary's Run or whatever that series. Like that's what's going to be, and what's going to be great is that out of the woods is going to come a half-naked Peacemaker who's been surviving on this planet for 6 years or however long it's been. It's going to be great. Yep. I can't wait for that. Yep. But I really like that series. I wish there was going to be another one. The franchise Kyle Starks, that's me. I'm trying real hard.
Bill Schmidt, how you doing?
The Rick and Morty franchise Kyle Starks, that's me. Hollywood Kyle Starks, love it. Yeah, so we'll see. So I feel like these next 6 months are going to be very critical, and hopefully just the beginning of more opportunities with sort of these big 2 companies. And hopefully I'm just writing end of life for the next 30 years too. That'd be great. I'd love if I was writing for the next 2 years. Like what a blessing that would be to do 24 issues in 2027. That'd be amazing. So
I hear you, buddy.
Hopefully.
Well, again, whatever I can do to help, I'm happy. Like I said, we'll, this will have to be the Wrestle Heist conversation. But, and again, you're at the very least welcome to come back in February with the Vertigo stuff, or anytime there's something new that hits the atmosphere. Kyle Starks, you're always welcome.
We always have stuff. I have a horror series coming out next month too, called Devil on My Shoulder with Dark Horse, which is not funny. It's not funny at all. It's not even a little funny.
Maybe that's a reason to come back in December.
I'll send you some PDFs. It's dark. It's real dark, but I love it.
Cool.
I love it. Yeah.
Excellent.
Hopefully it doesn't confuse people. Here's some fun comics, and here's a bloody horror revenge with no jokes.
Well, that's all right.
We're just trying to spread our wings a little bit. We have to spread our
show
wings.
Your different muscles, Kyle. Absolutely, man. No, show that you're more than just the funny guy. I mean, that's what I was leaning on promoting this tonight. But no, that's great, and I'm glad.
I think that WrestleHeist. I think I've reached a point, and I think Peacemaker is a good. Peacemaker is a little hammy, a little bit, but just a little bit. But I think the thing is, it's like the funniest things are when. How do I say this? It's a ridiculous situation, and these people are unique, but it's like it's not bits. Like I don't do bits. It's just humorous. It's not a joke book, right? And so the thing is, like, I think the best stories, and I say this, I think the best stories have everything. Like when I did Peacemaker, I want you to laugh, I want you to cry, I want you to worry. If I can do all these things, and WrestleHeist, I'm kind of doing it as a romp. I'm doing kind of as creatively a stress-free romp because the industry is pressing. But End of Life is very much. If I want to get someone to cry at some point, you know what I mean? I want people to worry about stuff. Hey, I'm showing I'm trying. But also, I'm doing that. I also think comics should be fun. I think they should be fun. And I don't think that doesn't mean they're always funny, but I think it should be, we should enjoy this time. We should feel something. And I'm taking that very seriously, and I've taken it very seriously with all my projects. So I think WrestleHeist is ostensibly a comedy, but it's not to me. It's just these guys, they're charming and they're kind of amusing. But it's not like someone's getting pies thrown in their face or they're doing like spit takes. It's just so I think humor is always gonna be a part of it, but I don't think they're like, I wouldn't be like it's a comedy book. I'd be like it's WrestleHeist. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe it is a comedy book. I don't know.
It is what it says in the title. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Man. So WrestleHeist, everybody. Final order cutoff on Monday. Coming from Image Comics. That's the October 27th. Hit your LCS. Get this book ordered. And then in February, I guess in December, excuse me. And again, that sad book that you got coming out.
Yeah, and it comes out in November, so it'll be issue 2 in December. But we're down for that. It's Dark Horse, so they haven't promoted it at all, so it doesn't matter.
And I'm sorry. And again, the title of it again?
It's called Devil on My Shoulder. It's with Peter Kowalski, who drew Where Monsters Lie for Me, who's great. It's a dark, bloody revenge, and that we're past FOC. That was this Monday. Like they didn't, we tried. Yeah, we tried. It's just
Devil on My Shoulder from Dark Horse coming in November.
Yeah.
Beautiful, man.
It's good. It's good if you like that type of stuff.
I love it. Congrats.
Thanks, man.
Hang in there, man. I know sometimes it's a long trail, but there's light at the end of the tunnel, man. Stay with it.
Yeah, let's hope. Fingers crossed.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening. Tomorrow night on Word Balloon Live, we're going to do a movie Scene Missing. I don't know if you know this movie, Kyle, from the early 70s. Great TV movie, Gargoyles, not to be confused with the cartoon. But from that early 70s period when they were cranking out horror movies and they were legitimately scary. And I'm really excited. I know Gabe Hardman is going to join me and Ian Brill. And I believe Allison Baker. I don't know if we'll have Jeff Parker or Steve Lieber. They were on the last Scene Missing, but we'll see if they're available as well.
That's two good ones.
It'll be a good conversation regardless. So I hope people will join us tomorrow night. Until next time, everybody stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy.